What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Unapologetically Black Male, where we talk about surviving the stigma, standards, and systems. Listen, my name is Dwayne Pate. My co-host is Brother EJ Stewart. We want to thank you for joining us today. This podcast is meant to highlight African American men in their journey to success. Give a special shout out to our one of our sponsors, J. Pope and Associates. If you are in the Baltimore or DMV area and you are in need of any therapeutic services, counseling, individual therapy, treatment planning, medication, all that good stuff, feel free to reach out to J. Pope and Associates. We have a great guest on today, Brother Braxton Byerson, formerly known as Brax B. But I'm gonna let him go ahead and give us a little bit about himself, give us some history, and then we're gonna hop in, jump on it in with these questions for him.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Brax B, from Chester, Virginia. Originally born in Eschenbach, Germany. Graduated from high school, Thomasdale. Graduated from Virginia Union. Played all 4 years of basketball there. Been on the team with me and my two brothers, and I think it was the first time ever that all three of us were on the same team and started at the same time in CIAA history. So that was a great bit of history there at Virginia Union, which is a D2 powerhouse. Went overseas to play professional basketball in South America, down in Uruguay and in China. And after my career was finished over there, came back home to start teaching and coaching, at the high school level and middle school level, coached at the high school, middle school level. And then I started to venture out into entrepreneurship. And now I own two businesses. One is a marketing firm called B7 Marketing, and the other one is a life coaching firm, and also a speaking firm. And I travel to various schools, various programs, teaching them about leadership, emotional intelligence, and things of that nature, trying to help break the mold of us having bad attitudes towards different situations, and instead trying to help us understand how we change the situation, determining on how we look at it and how we mold ourselves to think about the situation. So that's all I got going on right now, man. And it's taking off. It's taking off. And like we talked about previously, man, I switched over to TikTok. And so if you're on TikTok, you can follow me on Brax B, the TikTok LC. You can follow me on Instagram at BraxB_7. I had Facebook, but I got hacked a couple weeks ago. So I don't have Facebook no more, but through Instagram and TikTok, you'll find me, man. So yeah.
Awesome. Want to go a little bit back into like your background. You know, you spoke, you kind of brushed past the basketball thing. You know, real. I guess it was like a humble brag. I don't know what it was. So tell us about that. Tell us about your experience, kind of playing ball. You know, in college, getting your scholarship, and then going overseas. I know that's a lot of our young brothers aspire to do those things and play ball, go overseas, and they sometimes only think that the NBA is the only way. But it's so many different avenues out there. So speak a little bit about that, like how you started, who got you into playing ball, and when did you realize it was like your thing?
Oh man, so I the earliest I can remember is age 7. Pops had us out on the track running miles with bleachers, had us doing endless drills, line drills, layup drills, whatever drill you could think of. Pop had us doing it, man. So I remember back in the day, he always used to tell us that he would take us to the gym in the stroller, and we'd be in there crying and stuff, and we'd be hooping. So I think once we heard that ball start bouncing, it was like that's it. And we tried to persuade mom a little bit to let us play other sports like football, baseball, whatever. She's like, nah, we not having that. So that it just pretty much stuck, man. Especially, I know when I turned about 9, I knew it was like, this is it for me. I'm gonna do this to get as far as possible I can, and leave my mark on the game of basketball. And so as I matriculated through Little League at Harrogate Elementary, middle school at Carver Middle. All of this is in Virginia. High school, Thomasdale, like I spoke on previously. numerous awards. Like you said, as a humble brag, man. I don't like to, I don't like to toot my horn a lot, man. So I just let other people do it for me. So as people say, you can Google me and you'll find out about the whole basketball. And so once all the grade school stuff was done, man, went to Virginia Union, played with my older brother and both my older brothers. And my freshman year is when we all played together. And we all started, and man, that was just an experience in itself, because from I don't even know the earliest time that we started playing together, but all of these years of playing against each other, and now we're playing with each other, is like ketchup and mayonnaise,
right?
Mayonnaise, and you mix some other ingredients in there, you get ranch, man. But it was definitely a great experience, man. And then after college, I went on to play overseas. And like you said, a lot of our young brothers now think, oh, the NBA, the NBA, the NBA. But there are a lot of guys who made it to the NBA, but they started overseas first. And that was because of various reasons, politics, whatever the case may be. But that experience of going overseas and experiencing different cultures and doing what you love, playing the game of basketball and meeting new people and establishing connections, all of those things, man, they turn full circle once the ball stops bouncing and the last whistle blows. There's a lot of things that you can connect with and get back up to with those connections that you build overseas, man. So it was definitely a great experience, especially China. I put China at the top of the list.
That's dope. That's dope. Can you speak to a little bit about you spoke a little bit about your pops, and can you speak a little bit about how he played a major role in your life and just kind of like the influence, the influence that he had on you to kind of point you in this direction and just kind of help you guide you? Because and I want to ask the question, like when you were growing up, were like you were the only family, or I guess a brother that had a dad in the house, or like was your community quite similar to yours, or was it like yours like a unique one?
I'll answer that question first. But it was very similar. We all had mom and dad, and there was only a couple of us that didn't have both parents in the house. But for the most part, a lot of us from the schools that we went to, we both had both parents in the house. And
gotcha.
Yeah, we were just we were able to mesh that way because it was like if my mom and dad weren't able to get us from practice or whatever the case may be, we can call on our teammate, like, we need to get y'all to practice, or we stay at the house until mom and dad come get us, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And so that's what made us very, very close, and of course a brotherhood and tight-knit circle. But yeah, man, Pops played a huge role growing up in a number of aspects. One, like I spoke about, emotional intelligence. That's something that I talk about mostly when I go to on speaking gigs and stuff like that. Emotional intelligence is super important, especially when you're playing basketball. The heat of the moment sometimes is like, yo, I want to get back at him. He pushing me. I'm going up for a layup or a dunk. My man there, how I'm going to react. And sometimes if you react the wrong way, that can end up causing your team to lose. So Pops told me a lot about emotional intelligence. He taught me a lot about patience and working your way through the game and not rushing through things. And another one of his big lessons in our lives, and not just basketball, but in the house and school, whatever the case may be, was patience. And that's another thing that came from my book that you see back there, my first book, Stay on the Track, The Journey of Patience and Perseverance. And once you're able to master those two things, it's a lot of things in life that you can just like pretty much brush off or let it roll down your back, man. But Pops definitely played a huge role in making sure that we were getting our academics first, making sure that we respected coach, make sure we respected mom. He already knew for a fact that we respected him. That was no doubt.
Right.
So it's like just respect, patience, and emotional intelligence. Those three things right there is like a perfect combination for not just a student athlete, but any individual in general. So that's how he he pretty much shaped and molded me and my brothers. I'll speak for them for this little bit of time, but for sure, he was very, very instrumental in my upbringing and leading me to where I am today.
Now, are you related to a Terrence Byerson?
Yes, I was with him this weekend. That's my cousin.
Yeah, small world, man. Small world. Are you still currently coaching now, or was that something that you used to do, or are you still currently coaching?
Sports, no, but life, yes. I'm
Okay.
a certified life coach, and so I have a few clients here and there, and I'll take calls and stuff during the day in the midst of everything else that I got going on. But as far as sports, my wife got me this year. She got me to coach baseball for my firstborn. I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing out here.
Unfamiliar territory.
But I was like, man, I went straight to YouTube and was like, let me figure something out. But I told her, I said, listen, baseball, you got me. Football, nah, I ain't messing with it.
Got you.
Messing with it. But yeah, as far as coaching, man, it's life coaching stuff, man. Now, making sure my kids get that same upbringing that my dad gave me. Of course, just passing it down from generation to generation, man. So it's things like that you have to pass down. That's priceless. You see what I'm saying? You can pass down money if you want to, whatever the case may be, and investments and stocks and all of that good stuff. But if you pass down the life lessons, that's something that they're going to remember until they're able to pass it down to somebody else. So,
you talked about going to Virginia Union, and I'm wondering how easy that decision might have been, already having an older brother there, and we'll talk about that process, and then just how much that campus life and that HBCU life might have had, influence on you today.
So I'll say this: it actually was not an easy decision to start off, because I had a few D1 offers from George Washington, East Tennessee Tech, and it was a couple other schools, Appalachian State and Elon. But it's crazy how life works. Every school that offered me, I don't know what happened between all of those coaches, but all of them got fired or replaced. Yeah, it was tough. So my mind was set on East Tennessee, but I'm like, I don't want to take mom and dad that far away from my brothers. You see what I'm saying? So it did become easy once I found out all of those coaches were gone. I was like, all right, I know where I'm at now. And so I just thought to myself, it's like, mom and dad wouldn't be any more proud if they saw all three of their sons playing on one team at one school at one time. So I was like, let's go ahead and make it happen. And we made that move. Coach Robbins, Dave Robbins, the legendary coach at Virginia Union, I know he was super duper excited, because that my senior year in high school, they came to one of my games, and they brought the whole basketball team in there. And it was at the free throw line, and I turned around to go down to the other end, and all of them just walked in at one time, and I was like, oh, this thing's serious. And then like stepping on campus at an HBCU, like I used to hear about it in high school, hear my brothers talk about it when they came home and stuff. And I'm thinking like VCU, Alabama, LSU. I'm thinking all those schools, so that's what I see growing up with football and basketball and stuff. But when it's my time to go to college and I'm stepping on this HBCU campus, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. This is something different. And like the education, the relationships, like I spoke about before, just everything encompassed with the HBCU culture was just like totally different. And then your mind shifts a little bit, because it's like, I never really thought that this could happen by going to this place. So once you get a grasp of the whole pretty much world, or the whole aspect of life in general, then you start to understand a whole lot more, because it's some things that you probably would never have learned if you never stepped foot in certain places. So yeah, that whole HBCU culture has definitely played a part in what I'm doing today. And of course, like the show, like the podcast is talking about helping African American men get over these systemic issues that's boggling us down. Like I'm here to create a safe space for us, because a lot of us don't want to go to therapy. A lot of us don't want to do whatever it is that needs to be done. So as a life coach, like, yo, listen, I'm going to listen to you, but I'm also going to give it to you straight, because this is what needs to happen.
Right.
A lot of things are going to happen in your life, but you have the ability to change how you react to it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely needed, because we facing a lot out here, and the more positivity we can get, the better. You know what I mean? What are you finding are some of the most challenging things that brothers are dealing with out there?
As of recently, man, I've always said this to one of my boys, and I see that it's a lot of guys out here who are not, for the lack of a better word, fond of marriage. They're very scared of marriage. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, what are you like? What you scared of? Is it what you see on social media? Have you experienced this firsthand with a family member? Whatever the case may be. And then they give me their respective answers, and I'm like, listen, I got married. I was 24 years old. I had my first kid at 25. Me and my wife been together for 11 years, married for 7. And the train ain't stopping no time soon. And so I'm like, listen, marriage is nothing to be scared about. But if you get into that union with somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can communicate with, and somebody that you can work through problems and situations with, you'll be good to go, man. And so that's one of the major things that I see or hear about now between our brothers, about a lot other things that we have going on in this world, man. Of course, black on black crime. I don't even need to expound on that one. That's a tough one in itself, man. But we just all need to, again, work on our emotional intelligence. And of course, you got drugs, all this other stuff going on, man. So once we wrap our heads around the things that we can't control, a lot of us, our things will get better.
And I appreciate you bringing that point up, because today's day, we as a society, sometimes, specifically Black society, we like to talk about all of the external things, but we are losing a lot of young people, to the streets. And if you can talk about that a little bit, and how you try to aim to work in that space to stopping this stuff.
So what I do is I try to mostly reach out when I do speaking engagements. I try to reach out to inner city schools mostly, because that's where the majority of the issues or the problems lies, with the inner city schools. It's sad, but it's true. And I do that because, no, I didn't grow up in the inner city. No, I didn't experience anything that inner city kids experience themselves today. But I know a lot of inner city guys who have been through that. I've talked to them before, and I know how to help these young brothers get through that. And so me going into them schools and them seeing somebody that looks like them makes the message a whole lot more amenable to them. And that's how I try to leave my mark on these young brothers, man, just helping out as much as I can, and just reaching out to schools every single day, like 5-6 schools every single day, and just trying to build that connection, because I don't want to seem like, oh, I just want your money to talk to your kids. Nah, I want to build a connection so I can get in there on a consistent basis to help these young brothers. Like, I don't want them to just see me one time and be like, nah, that's it. I want them every month, if possible, every 2-3 months, whatever the case may be, and whatever your schedule fits. So yeah, just making my way into those schools, man, and being able to help those young brothers at any point in time.
That's dope. Definitely needed.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want you to you say you wrote 2 books, right? So in addition to this, the 2 business. So talk to us a little bit about your books. What is it? What is it talking about? I know you mentioned one before, and if you can give us a little background on the other one too, and like what kind of pushed you to write them, in this day and time.
Got you. So the first one, this is my baby right here. This is the original. This is the original. It's called "Stay on the Tracks: The Journey of Patience and Perseverance," and it is pretty much just a brief little. It's not a huge book. I don't write long 300, 400 page books. I want to give it. I want to give you enough to get what you need, like an ice bath for an athlete. Right? You get in, get what you need, get out. But when you get out, your body feeling super rejuvenated. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I take from my books, man. And that book right there, that was prompted by, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but it was prompted by me when I stopped teaching and coaching. It was a brief period of time where I was unemployed, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I started filling out applications. My wife was like, "Let's go start filling out applications, see what we get." So, long story short, 40 application submissions, all of them rejected. So I was like, all right, got to figure something out now for real. Because they ain't no money coming in on my end. So I'm not going to let my wife struggle and go through all of that. I'm protect, I provide and serve and do all of those great things for my family. So I got to figure something out. And that's when entrepreneur came on to the table. And I was like, I had to pray to God. I'm like, yo, what we talking about here? Like, we never discussed this before. Like, what's up with this? So when entrepreneurship came on the table, the first thing was write a book. And it's crazy because the first 3 chapters had been in my computer for years. But I never made any moves on it. And so when everything started clicking, first 3 chapters, I just wrote 4 more, and then I self-published it. And I self-published it because I didn't want any of the publishing companies to take away what I wanted to say.
Gotcha.
Right. And so I wanted to get that out there. And when I started selling like crazy, my first speaking gig, I sold 7 books. And all 7 of the buyers came back, like half of them was in tears from the book. And they left their reviews and whatnot. And ever since then, I think I'm 350 copies sold of my book. That's the first one. And it's touching a lot of lives, man. It's a lot of people that are buying the books for other people. And it's a lot of things that they say that they needed, but they never knew that they were going to find it anywhere else. And so that was a mark to me to let me know that you did what you were supposed to do. You were obedient to what God said to do. And then the second book is mainly geared towards students and student athletes. It's entitled "You Got This: The Student Trifecta for Academic Achievement," and that's a part of my speaking program that I have going to different schools, the Academic Achievement Program. And it's pretty much talking about the 3 principles that gave me that little change or that little shift in life, and that's choice, confidence, and character. And with those 3 things, just like on the basketball court, is pretty much what I referred to for academics, life, and basketball. Those 3 things right there. If you possess supreme confidence in your abilities and your strengths and your weaknesses, there are a lot of things that is going to lead to you making great choices. And when you make great choices, your character tends to follow that. And there's not a lot of people who make great choices and don't have good character. You see what I'm saying? So those 3 in combination, that I call it the trifecta, get the old Dick Vitale saying. And so, yeah, that's pretty much where that came from, because I used those 3 in my academics in high school and in college and on the court at all levels, especially when I went overseas, being over there by myself, no family, just out there kicking the dolo and just being confident in everything that I've been working on since I was 7 up to now, and then making the right choices and doing everything that I could, and just maintaining my character whenever things would get out of hand, whether it was financial or just any other mess that went on over there. But yeah, man, those are my 2 books now. And my father-in-law was just at the house not too long ago. He was like, "So when you write book number 3?" I was like, hold on one second. But, book 3, I believe, will be released in early of next year.
Okay.
That's what's up. I think that's dope, man, that you speak to young athletes, because I myself didn't have a clue going into college of what it was, and just everything that you could experience from the it's a business. It's, I don't think a lot of people realize when you go on that level and you playing, especially depending on where you at, it's no longer fun.
Right. That's true.
It's no longer fun. I think you having your brothers there, had to have had put some support and ease to you. But if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean? So I think that's dope, man, and definitely necessary. I wish somebody would have told me a lot more.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. And Brad and Brandon, man, they were super duper, like they were like kind of like overbearing at one point. It was like, the baby cub is here, don't nobody mess with him. we gotta get him molded first. But once when I stepped on campus, man, like that first day I went to the cab, everybody was like, "Oh, baby B." I was like, "Oh, y'all been talking about me like this?" I felt like a king in that job. But it was fun though, man. It was fun just always being around my brothers and the rest of the team, man. It was crazy. And everybody just raving, like, "Oh, when I see one, I see all 3." It was crazy, man. But like you said, speaking to young athletes, man, it's like I'm in the same position. We didn't have speakers coming to our school or coming to our office to be like, "Yo, do this, have this, say this, do that." It's a business. We didn't have that. And so I'm like, man, listen, this is the age now, especially with all of they're able to get endorsement deals and all of that stuff, man. They need it big time, man, because they have so much more at their disposal, and they need somebody to help them be able to shift through that and get through those things, man. So
yeah, definitely. I'm glad we didn't have this social media access like we did then. It was just really coming on the scene when I was in school, but I don't know if I'd have made it, man.
I agree with you there, man.
Oh, man. I don't know how to made it, man. Woo, thank you.
Man, absolutely. So we want to do 2 things. Just a little fun question.
Okay.
You're a baller, so I'm gonna ask you the top 3 people that you've seen play in Virginia. I'm gonna keep it to Virginia. Top 3 players that you've seen play.
The top 3 I've seen play. Ooh.
I mean, and if you want to include people you played against too, you can do that too.
Off top, Tyrese Rice.
Okay.
Sean Taggart.
Sound familiar. What he end up going?
He went to George with, and then he ended up going to went to Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Memphis. And
I got you.
And then my last one, oh man, Andre Ingram. Andre Ingram. Like that was one of the first guys that I saw play. He played against Brad. And I saw him play. I was like, yo, he molded his game just like Kobe. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then it's wild because every time I see Andre, it's like he was born. He grew up in the house with us.
Gotcha.
That's how genuine he is, man. So Andre Ingram was a great dude, man. But those 3, Andre Ingram, Sean Taggart, and Tyrese Rice, man. Those 3 guys in BA, yeah, those are some killers, man. But you put me on the spot. There's a lot of killers in BA, man.
I know. That's why I like especially the ballers. sometimes it's hard to kind of give everybody their due.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like based on you gotta based off of what you see, like based off of who like does it for you. So I appreciate that. Now we're gonna go to the next thing.
Okay.
NBA top 5.
Ooh, top 5 NBA. Man. Woo. I can combine old school and new school.
Oh, absolutely. You can't. I feel like you can't honor the present without honoring the past.
Got you. Ooh, yeah, this is a tough one. Bill Russell.
Okay.
Kobe. God rest his soul. MJ. Oscar Robertson.
The big O.
And one of my all-time favorite Lakers, James Worthy.
Gotcha. Listen, you can't go wrong with that. That's a solid
list.
Yeah.
Can't argue that at all, man. Hey, listen, the Byerson clan of men, you guys are some pretty stand-up guys, man. And
unfortunately, they don't know how to play it correctly, though.
Hey, I was gonna get into that, man. I mean, well, his cousin got the right idea.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of bringing in his cousin myself, personally. But yeah, man, it's every one of you guys I've ever met some solid people, man. So
I appreciate that. Man.
Shout out to y'all, man. And it's just crazy how small this world is. Like he was literally just talking to me because I just did a jacket for him. He's like, yeah, my cousin got the silver. I was like, silver, but okay, So he might not have wanted you to know, but he kind of bit off of you. So one of y'all, I don't know who it was, but one of y'all. So. Yeah.
Hey, it's okay, man. I tell him, I say, because he tried to get my sons try to throw the alpha sign on the time. But like, man, listen, if you don't go with the Omega, he only got one other option, bro. That's it.
I could dig it.
I got you. So, man, we're gonna let you if let you give like parting words, and then I'll close out. Like, if you could kind of just provide somebody who might be listening some encouraging words, as far as like how to overcome the certain things that they may be experiencing right now. And just some encouragement in this season, because we all need a little bit, we're going into the holiday season. We all know the holiday season can be tough for many people. So just, offer some encouraging words and, kind of like a little sign off piece, and then I'll close out.
All right, man. I'm going to keep it real simple, man. And I was actually thinking about this at my nephew's game earlier tonight. And it's real simple, It's not anything long. And it's let the misconceptions about you help you create something magical. And I mean that because we go and we look at kids movies a lot, right? And I looked at Dumbo with my son a couple weeks ago, and Dumbo, of course, born with abnormally large ears, and people were making fun of him, joking on him and stuff like that. And he's been through these situations, and they made him dress up as a clown to try to embarrass him and do whatever. But when he finally found out that his ears gave him the capability, or gave him the ability to fly, he shocked a whole lot of people. And there's people today that are pretty much going through something similar. And we're not anybody's clown. We're not made or born to be anybody's dummy or anybody's fool. And once we get shying away from the ignorance of other people, once we realize our abilities and our strengths that are away from other people, that are different from other people, it can cause us to fly and go to different heights and go to higher heights, man. And so again, I say, don't let the misconceptions about you help you create something magical. And that's all I got, man. So yeah.
Definitely appreciate that. Thank you for sharing those words of wisdom to those who may be listening, and also taking time to kind of share your story and to kind of share your journey as to your level of success. Thank you for joining us for Unapologetically Blk Male, where we talk about surviving the stigma, standards, and systems. Once again, give a shout out to my co-host, Brother EJ Stewart, our sponsor, J. Pope and Associates, and thanks for Brax B for coming on and sharing his story. Once again, make sure you follow us on all social media outlets. And Brax, you want to give your social media information? I know you did it before. If they want to connect with you, website or anything like that.
Okay, yeah. Instagram, Brax B _7. TikTok, Brax B, the TikTok LC. Our website is www.braxb.org. And those three things you'll find me. I had Facebook, but they took it away from me.
It's okay. Facebook, they about to be on their way out there anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, once again, thank you all for joining us for Unapologetically Black Male, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one.